Like if you manage to eliminate him first, then the prolonged fights are definitely going your way. If you don't, actually prolonged fights are not at all where you shine at, because just
Yeah.
looking at these heroes, like, you have Chrono and AA ulti, and after that you're kind of done. You're
Ooh.
yeah.
Oh, this is interesting, actually. They just walked in at the Lanham stairs, like you named them, but they saw the Dazzle walk out. However, they didn't realize that he warded because he has a full inventory. So they actually left that ward on the stairs, and they tried to make use of that smoke. So either they're gonna find out that there's a ward there. They also got their vision placed down. I don't think they actually know.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they do. Okay, just some warding action happening, so no big clash. Sad. This is very sad. Like, a game that doesn't start with a bloodbath around the runes is, you know, it's
It's
already
missing
very
something.
disappointing. It's
Yeah.
just missing. Exactly. Like we need some good old 3-on-3 with someone dying.
Well, it has definitely been a long night, at least for all those people who out there have been watching all the games unfold. This is our third series of the day. Go along and Ignite. Loser out of the close qualifier and winner gets to continue to day number 2. This is a 3-day qualifier, if you did not know. We have today, tomorrow, and then on Saturday we will have our grand finals, and we will then know who from each region is going to be advancing to the group stage of the $1 million tournament. So usually the saltiest spot is to lose that grand finals, but for a lot of these players, a lot of these teams, all of these tournaments, all of these qualifiers, they're just but opportunities. So got to get the most out of it when you still can. Open qualifiers is where people are still, testing rounds
What?
or having fun, but I think close qualifiers is already pretty serious for a lot of teams.
No, 100%. Like when you get to closed qualifiers, you're like, okay, I'm not playing versus some stack of 2K MMR players anymore.
Yeah.
Everyone is actually good. Everyone has a chance, and
Job half
it's not a
done.
lot. Exactly, and it's not a lot that separates you, from actually playing in the tournament.
Yeah. Now that we're basically going back to the pattern of no DPC, you're bound to run into these players that have LAN experience, experienced players playing with newer guys. You're bound to run into some of those matchups sooner or later. But right now, we also have a pretty calm start. No real big brawling except in the bottom lane. AA could actually go down. That's going to be first blood. Death's going to be picking that one up. Ponlo helping out. They just caught the Ancient Apparition on a bit of a jungle stroll there. Get hit by stun, spawn some skeletons, and you know the rest is history when your target only has 2 armor. That's another. So one on both ends for each of the teams, and also looking at the CS is already building up pretty nicely, except for Killa on this Dawnbreaker. Gonna have to pull the wave all the way in front of his own tower to get some benefit out of the CS. On the positive side, you got the lane in a pretty good spot, but I think that's still gonna start pushing. Though there's the tower doing a lot of work on the Dire side, so that lane tranquility probably not going in their way. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, also the jungle camps interfering with all the action here. So this looks like this is also going to start pushing towards the Wraith King. He's got the lane in a very good spot, so going to pick up some extra CS. Ulu QYQX. I always kind of mix him up with KYXY. That's a different player. That's a different person. Kunal KYXY. Meanwhile, middle. Oh, they're actually going to jump onto the Dazzle with the X mark. Ponlo with the rotation for the stun. Fairy Fire used up. Not going to save him today. Dusk will pick this one up. And this is where Kunkka is very beneficial. He will have his strengths versus the Dazzle early on in the laning stage. Dazzle is obviously strong against a lot of those heroes that aren't able to either run away or capable of fighting back, but Kunkka definitely more than capable of just brawling back at heroes like Dazzle, so he doesn't get his full benefit of it. He needs to be able to kite, but Kunkka doesn't allow you to do that. So 3 kills for the time being go along. Also, well, not a lot of more CS. You see the 7 denies and the 6 denies on both the Dazzle and the Dawnbreaker. Maybe a tiny difference being built up here. QYQX does get end up hit by the roots, and he is going to drop here for Killa and TK. And the offlane duo for Go Along picking up another kill. It's the second assist for the Dawnbreakers, so despite being the one taking the majority of the CS, will also take the majority of the assists as TK, the support Willow, with the 2 kills. And we're at 5 minutes, so we'll see if one of the supports from each end is going to be rotating into mid to help out. I think Dazzle could actually benefit a lot from a rotation, potentially look for a kill that way. Because you do have 3 points in Poison Touch, you're already very strong in your farming capability, but that's a pretty mean 20% slow. And you're going to get bonus slow for every hit that connects.
That's a lot of slows, man.
That is, like, you mean, like, 3% doesn't feel like a lot, but every time you get a connection and you continue refreshing the Poison Touch, it's at some point you're just not getting away. Meanwhile, the top lane, the calling has been dropped on top. Ulu keeping a safe distance. Dawnbreaker unable to get his spells off. Nice snowball dodge there as well. And they're going to get the connection onto the Dark Willow, but here comes Usider.
Usider.
But Usider, yeah.
Usider mid lane. Kunkka, though, look at that. Like, they're actually chasing him down. Damn, that stun should not... What the hell was that? Yo, that was illegal.
Pretty solid.
No, I mean, that stun was illegal. That range... he wasn't in range, was he? It felt like he wasn't.
It always feels like that when you're playing Venge. It's like, I don't have the cast range, and it's locked at 650 as well, so it's like a range attack when a Venge doesn't really have like a proper long range attack.
Yeah. Sometimes it just feels, some spells, they look like they shouldn't happen, but they do. Because the hero is on a back foot or something like that, I don't know, but... I've been cheated by Gaben many times, been stunned by, been hit by hits that shouldn't be possible.
I mean, I think like melee hero right clicks are the worst at that. Like Ursa. I feel like Ursa is basically responsible for like the millions of kills where you are already out of melee attack range, and then your hero starts to make an attack animation, and you get a kill, and you're like, what the hell? This guy's like 5 feet away.
Yeah. Ursa, I think CK as well.
CK, yeah. Not sure if it has something to do with the hero models or their animations, but they're always the ones that seems to get like these million yard kills.
I'm sure there's some spaghetti code involved, somewhere in there.
Well, already building up into a 2K lead here on the side of Ignite. Very early on into this game, and that is not even through kills, because kills are 3 and 3. But it's just in general, just the CS advantage. I mean, I was looking at the denies on the Dazzle and the Dawn a couple minutes ago. They were still at the same values as they are right now, so 6 and 9. It's a good number combination, but it's really
why,
just...
Why so? Void, they're trying.
It's one of my favorite numbers. That's it. QYQX can get the snowball off. Ponlo around at the back. He's got a stun available, but doesn't look like they're going to be able to do much with it. So he's just going to hold on to it. They're going to watch their friend Tusky Dusky die.
Yeah. So how's Ponlo doing this game, by the way? Like, we've
Very good.
This morning, I sort of remember that 3 a.m. game through the fog, but this is looking much better for him,
Much
isn't it?
better. He hasn't died. You know, he died like 4 or 5 times in the first 10 minutes in one of those games, right?
Yeah. It was rough. It was
So
rough.
now it is he's woken up. He's definitely woken up now. Maybe he's one of those evening guys like me, for example. I'm not a morning person.
Yeah, but they're not in the same time zone like we are.
I know,
Come on.
but they've been awake for a while, so I guess he's finally woken up.
Rikumiko. Did I pronounce that right? Damn.
Pretty close, yeah.
Close enough. Yeah.
But Finnish is a hard language, so I'll say you did.
Is your name basically an anagram for Ricky Maru? Is that what it is?
I've heard that joke a couple times. I mean, the funny thing is, my nickname is Ricky, literally Riki. It's actually based off of a singer in Finland, but it also started to get more popular because you remember? Okay, I'm not sure if you've ever watched anime. What was the one with the dogs? The dogs,
The
and then there were
dogs.
the bears, the evil bears
dogs.
on a mountain.
Actually, I did watch something from Studio Ghibli that's similar to that, but I don't think it's dogs. I think it was some trash pandas like raccoons or something, and they can morph into
Okay.
anything. They can
Yeah,
morph
that
into
sounds like a
tables, into
Ghibli movie. Yeah.
humans. Yeah.
But basically there are these different dogs, and then there's one dog that's called Ricky, and it started to get really popular. People started calling themselves and their dogs and their pets Ricky, but it's not originated on that. It's just another example. And so Rikumikko turned into Ricky at some point, which is the equivalent of the English Ricky, like Ricky Martin, for example, with a Ricky. So yeah, Ricky Maru, pretty close.
Now we all know the lore
You know the lore.
behind T Panda.
But have we ever figured out the lore of Lizard? Have you ever, been asked the question, like, where does your nickname originate from? Like in an interview or something?
Many times, and I have always lied.
You have always lied. Okay, give me another lie.
No, I was just 12. That's all. The nickname was cool.
Okay, so you're actually 13, but you're lying you were 12. Okay, I get
Exactly. I was
that. Some
actually.
things are better to keep as a secret. Well, talking about secrets, they're not making this bottom gang too obvious, as they will find the Wraith King here. Death will drop. Maimo with the Dazzle to pick up another kill. So, no, I wouldn't say recovery kills. They're, catch-up kills, I guess, when you look at the net worth graph.
Yeah, he's not having the best game ever, but it's still pretty solid, right? Like
I'm not
even
sure.
with the deaths.
Did you see what happened to Dazzle there?
No,
We were just off camera there for a second, but at the Twin Gate, he was channeling the gate while once was farming the ogre camp. And I know where this is going. He starts one of the brawlers
stunned him? Yeah.
starts channeling ogre smash, and just before he's about to finish the portal animation, he gets stunned, and then he decides, "Fuck it, I'm gonna teleport top."
I'm done. I know those golems are something else.
They're ogres.
Can we? Yeah, ogres. Can we please get the Setar Shockwave back? I want to see him triple killing people.
Oh, we'll see. We'll see if Ponlo's killing people. Nice combination of spells onto Wymo. Boat connected onto two, but he's just not dying. Nobody's dying actually on the side of Go Along, and until they finally bring in Ulu for the extra damage here. The carry Muerta, but so does Once, coming out with the Chrono onto 3 with the Bedlam to help him out for the extra damage. Killer and TK will both get themselves a pair of kills, and onto Ulu they go. So in the long run, Go Along only end up losing the Dazzle, and they take 3.
Double kill.
Very nice. Like it looked kind of dangerous for Go Along because their Dazzle died, but Dawnbreaker managed to buy enough time for Void to go in. Chrono, A ulti, the combination was perfect on both the Tusk and the Kunkka. Like he's tanky, but he's not that tanky. He's still gonna fall to. He's still gonna shatter. So Really nicely done by Go Along. Nice little reaction from them. By the way, one thing that you probably notice in that fight is how good Muerta is versus Dazzle.
Yeah.
Just because of that silence, that's AoE, right? He needs some force staff or something like that, some BKB ASAP.
Yeah, and he's got a BKB lined up for that particular purpose. Doesn't want to keep on getting silenced by the moment he needs his spells, because literally Dazzle, we talked about his cooldowns, and basically he can just continue spamming spells the later we go into this game. That much of a reduction in
And Ponlo, he wanted to swap TK, but instead of moving towards him, he stayed in the river, and then TK kind of outplayed. He just moved into the woods, so they had no vision, no range. Again, they go on the Dark Ruin.
Yep. Well, let's see if they've got the damage this time. They got the bolt to connect onto TK. He does get graved up by the Dazzle. Wymo keeping his buddies alive. And we talked about sustained fights. They're not dying again. They're just getting so many heals in. And they will take dust. They will take death. And QYQX also down. So they ended up losing 3 heroes on
Some
the
body
gank.
blocks.
Or let's make it 4. Let's get another Wraith King kill right after his ulti's already been popped once, and there's just something about this Dazzle, man. He only
But hey, Muerta is farming. That's fine.
yeah, it's alright, we got our win condition.
Yeah, I don't know why they decide to go for one target that you cannot kill easily, plus one. You know that there's a Dazzle, like you actually scouted him a second earlier. So you're going on a target that's extremely difficult to kill, plus there's a Dazzle nearby. It's like, yeah, it's usually not a good idea. Plus there's no Radiance on Wraith King, he was getting really close to it. Ignite kind of making a little bit of a blunder there.
Yeah, Go Along is pretty happy with these turnarounds, because they were slightly behind on economy, but with 2 fights that have gone their way pretty well. The first one they did lose the Dazzle, but the second one they lost nobody. They're actually building themselves into a pretty strong mid-game timing as we're closing up on that part.
Can they catch him? Probably not, right? Yeah, they build themselves not a huge advantage, 1k, right?
But it feels like it could be a lot more with the way these fights have been going.
Now they have 3 Midases and one of those are on Dazzle, so you know, like that lead should increase very soon.
Talk about investments paying off. On the other hand, you've got none. You've got 0 Midases on one side, so yeah, that is a very strong indicator for Go Along, having triple the extra gold going their way.
They went all in on Doge on Dire, unfortunately. Do we have like some Dota crypto?
Oh.
Is that forbidden? We can't talk.
You know where the door is, Lizard.
Okay, I'll leave. I'll go out. We should. I should
take
make
your
some
cryptos with you.
Pudge coin. I'd buy a Pudge coin. I would buy a Pudge coin. You get a nice little face.
Well, they've got a bit of a brawl in the top lane. The boat does connect onto Killa. Killa, does he have any backup? Nice fear from TK once, coming out with a Chrono as well. But he can't hit the Muerta. And the swap save from Ponlo. Ooh. And now the Void goes down. Oh my god. Oh, that could not have gone worse in a way of how they reinitiated that fight. But they're still fighting to the end. Wymo with Killa. Death. He's still got that poison touch on top of him. Killa trying to get a couple connections as well. Wraith King, 2 seconds for his ult to come back up. And he just gets it. So he gets the chance to turn around. Killa does get graved up by the Dazzle, but Wymo, he's out of mana. He's only got 8 stick charges, so he can probably land an extra spell. But Ponlo, does he snipe with the wave? Where did he throw that wave?
He threw it towards Dark Willow instead. Ulu dies in the end. They sniped him with the ulti. And they get another kill. I mean, TK is gonna be the true carry here. I don't want him to see. I don't want these Yules. Just go for Axe, man. You have Midas already. Just full rush Axe. Let's go. You have Chrono from Faces Void. That's all he has to do. Just plant Chrono. By the way, you were talking about how good
He's going X.
Muerta is.
He changed.
You see, nice.
He heard you.
I like that. I like that. You were talking about earlier how good Muerta is versus Void because of the ulti, right? Like you can't hit her.
Yep.
That was exactly what happened in that last fight. But she's good against him because of the AOE silence too. When the team fight is happening, she puts the AOE silence and he can't chrono anyone because he can't jump in. Like he can't reach the fight properly. So he's forced to make these kind of bad chronos.
Yeah, also the Void
Outsider?
wasn't able to hit any targets. They
Outsider?
used the swap as well, and he just dies on the low ground all by himself. QYQX, he's maybe gone a little bit too far here.
Maybe.
We're gonna punish him for it. And there's a haste dazzle. Look at this doctor go.
Ooh,
Speedy
scary.
boy.
Very scary. Spooky, scary dazzle.
Yep, with an Ags. Well, they're making a portal play towards the top lane. Ponlo was running away from TK. They're rapidly losing ground of their own side of the map on the side of Ignite. Like this is only going to get worse, I think, if the tempo stays as it is. They're just going to get choked out harder and harder from their own side of the map, and with all these Midases just building up these bigger items on one side, it's going to be an even bigger deficit.
I feel like if you... the best time to fight for them is right now. You have Blink Radiance on Wraith King, level 2 ulti, you have your Kunkka with Aghanims. Sure, Muerta doesn't hit too strong, but she's still Muerta, you know. You pop that ulti, you're still gonna delete a hero.
Yeah.
So overall, maybe right now would be the time to smoke up, make a play.
Yeah, finding a good balance between waves need to be pushed out and can we smoke up on our opponents, but they are a bit afraid right now. Seeing that this game has kind of hit the point where Go Along has probably a very strong lineup, but they're also pretty strong right now, so maybe they should take advantage of it. They are stacked up with 4 heroes in the top half of the map, and now there's the BKB on Muerta, so I think that calls for even bigger reason to stack up and go. As Go Along is smoking up towards the bottom lane, and Muerta under the tower. Mass TPs towards the mid lane. Do they get to this Muerta before?
Well, Void isn't there, right? Like, he's still on top, so how do they get on her? She has a BKB, like, you're not killing her.
Well, he's got the calling placed down that will push Killa away. Fear comes out as well. Ponlo's here, and so is the rest of the team. And Void is now finally teleporting as well to join Go Along. And Killa starting off the fight. Ponlo down, and they're going to be jumping onto the Dawnbreaker. At the same time, Death is trying to close in the gaps at the side. Killa will be killed off by Ulu, and Once just waiting for a good chrono spot, and he's just a little bit too far away. They will burn out the Wraith King for the first time, and Once will take the front line. Okay, go straight for the Wraith King. Let's go for it. Both placed down. Snowball coming in. Snowball does absolutely nothing. He's got a BKB, remember? And he just get hit by the Walrus Punch, but he's still dead. And that's 3 for 1 traded. And Go Along. Happy with that.
Yeah, it's crazy that they managed to take these fights so cleanly and easily, even though they just lost the Dawnbreaker. Like, on paper, if you're looking at it, offlane versus support that just died, you'd probably rather not take that fight, but they still take it. They use the chrono, they take down the Wraith King. Nicely done. By the way, Dark Willow did go for Yules in the end. I'm still fine with it, you know, like Yules is a very solid item on him. You're also playing versus a Kunkka. It's gonna be useful no matter what. Yeah, but this DK is 7-0-10. It's a way.
Well, that's pretty sick. I mean, yeah, the reasoning for the Yules, I think you get the biggest benefit out of this if you get all the way to the Wind Waker. But what are you doing with a rushed Wind Waker? So just get the Yules for the extra mobility. You'll get at least a guaranteed stun with your Cursed Crown. and then you build up into the Aghanim, so you're also a damage dealer. And very early on into the game, too, when you think about it. Like, it's not a pause for Willow building a Force Staff and an Aether Lens in between. He's just going straight Yule's Aghs. So very early do they get that extra damage output, which will hurt the Muerta.
Yep, it will hurt them, and you know, you have the chrono for a setup. I love it. It's one of the best things to have in a game such as this one. Like, even if you're worried about late game, you know that you can, like you said, you can deal with the Muerta by just utilizing the Dark Willow.
Alright, Killer gonna get jumped on as Dust and Ponlo. Both gonna be surprising him off guard here. Has to use another BKB charge. That's the 8-second one. Killer looks like he's gonna be able to walk out safely though. But that is a 80-second cooldown that he's gonna have to live with.
Ponlo was thinking about it, but opted not to in the end. Instead, they smoke up.
Step lively now. Your admiral is on board.
Let's see, who can they find? They can connect with Muerta too. Like, he has a Shadow Blade Aegis. Like, your fights are still not easy. Even with the Aegis, I feel like you have to be careful.
Also, I can see Yules are also being lined up for a Kunkka to build a Yules. It has to be against the Faceless Void, right? Or the Dazzle. Either one needs to be taken out of the fight. TK, he's caught sleeping, so who's going to claim this big streak? Or are they going to claim it? Yeah, they got the Silence. Death will take it. That's a lot of money for the Wraith King. And he just finished his Aghanims with that kill. It's on the courier now.
Yeah, meanwhile, speaking of the other guy that was supposed to build an Aghanims, he bought the goddamn Blink. I'm angry. But, I guess it helps them a bit with initiation.
Yeah. Mr. Cider.
Yeah, he's next.
Yeah, welcome back. Mash your buttons, AA gameplay. Press every button that you have, you know you're dead anyway.
Yeah, been there, done that. I know you have as well.
Yep.
That's that.
Skyrant is another hero. You know, you just hit your 4 buttons at the same time, and you know, pray for them to land.
You know you're dead anyway, so there's no use. Just send someone to base at least, you know. Like Veno, when you're dying, pop that ulti. Yeah, whatever. Well, back in the day at least. Not the new Veno.
The Banana Mancer.
Yeah, the new Venomancer. Like, how can you take AoE from Venomancer as ulti? You know, the good old AoE. It just feels weird. Now he gets it. He gets it with Aghanims, right?
Yep.
Or with Shards. Is it with Aghs or with Shard that he gets?
I think it was with Aghs. It's been a while since I've seen a Veno, to be honest.
Yeah, like latent toxicity is the Shard and Poison Nova is the Axe, something like that.
Yeah. That is absolutely correct. Oh well, it might be a while until we start to see Veno gameplay in competitive once again. I mean, he's a great slower, but
yeah,
Viper
you know what's crazy?
does the same thing.
Yeah, I mean Viper is also dead.
Yep. All the slow heroes are just gone.
You see, like Void picked quite a lot. You see, Spectre picked, and Viper isn't picked. Veno isn't picked against them. It's
and Ursa.
You know,
Ursa's also out of the pool. Another hero with a slow with no stun.
You know the heroes are dead when that's happening. Ursa isn't that dead. Like, I've seen some... He is, but I've seen some attempts. Mid lane?
Let's see what kind of an attempt is made here. Oh, he thought about chronoing there for a second, but he didn't see enough targets. Knowing that there's an Aghanis up in the Wraith King, and Mr. Waterpark... You know, the...
that's a good chrono.
That's a combo, if anything! They're going to be killing a lot of heroes, but they still might have to pay the price for it because that Wraith King Aghs is still up and running. But no, they're just caught in the Bramble Maze with their ghosts, so they will lose up 3 heroes, make that a 4th with Death. He's going to be dropping 2, and Ulu left by himself, but they have vision, so this is going to be a full-on team wipe. What a beautiful play coming out from both Once, Wymo, and of course Outsider, with that Ice Blast into the 4-man chrono. That's really a beautiful play.
It really was. Once again, Ignite, they go... Okay, this time I have to give it to them. They did choose to go on Dazzle. But the problem is they went on a Dazzle knowing that there's a Chrono, knowing that there are saves for him. So they kind of put themselves in a really bad spot and got punished for it. But there is an upside. The upside is 10% reduction on your respawn timer. Wraith King had an axe, so you're gonna be up sooner. Is that better or worse? I'm not sure.
I don't know, but TK is looking for a solo kill here. He's got it. Time to build another. Oh, he just blinks away as Death blinks in. Very nice. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Dazzle being controlled here. Does he have the heals or the RNG to dodge these puddles? Doesn't look like he's going to be caught now. He's still got that Grave available. Ice Blast coming in, and the Dawnbreaker coming in from some popped up extra heals. Oh no, they're not going to turn this one around, are they? Wymo able to escape inside the Glimmer, blinks forward, dodging this Vengeful Spirit, and they just killed everybody.
Double kill. They're unstoppable? Oh no.
Yes.
Holy. This is why this hero is absolutely busted and why I was excited to see it.
Yeah, this is why the hero is banned very often. Like, you just get rid of Dazzle, right? And you don't want to play against him, especially if you have some Kunkka on mid. But they decided to leave him in the pool. They're getting punished for it. Like, the worst thing is, like, they do have some stuns, but they just don't have enough of burst. I feel to kill Dazzle in this game, you need some Shadow Blade from Huerta popping her ulti, and then you stun him with a Venge task, whatever. Like, that way maybe you can kill him, but besides that, it's really not easy.
Well, in this particular matchup for game number 1, Go Along, they're just going along with the vibes right now. They've established dominance in this game, and I mean we've seen a couple good fights coming out from Ignite, but it's just not enough anymore. The longer the fights are going, it's indeedly going in the way of Go Along. This Dazzle is getting out of hands.
I think there is one, I wouldn't call it silver lining, but there is one unexplored venue that Ignite can go to, and that's actually utilizing Muerta. So far, this hero has been either chronoed or not in a fight. She gets obliterated before the fight even starts, for her at least. So if they can find a way to utilize her, maybe things change.
Look at TK giving the information here. They don't have the required damage to kill this Muerta with just the Dawnbreaker and the Dark Willow, but they have good control of this area and keeping track of where the Muerta is most likely going to be moving around, because they're making a move happen in bottom. Tried to jump onto the Wraith King, but Death was able to escape. Successful with this catch this time.
Yeah, if you go along, like, your Midases are still working overtime. Your lead is just increasing, 24k ahead. What do? You just wait for ages. You force a fight around the pit, right? And that's your game plan. Meanwhile, if you're Dire, you know that you're very far behind. You know that you need to smoke up.
Literally in a dire situation with an 8% win probability, as we saw from the graph there. But all you need is one good fight, and then you can start building from there. That's a lot of money to be claimed here. Once he does get his BKB off, and he's on top of Ulu. Waits for the Pierce to Veil, but the swap save does come out, and Once won't be able to hit this Muerta, and it's a chaotic fight, breaking all over the place. Void already down, so that's one way to kick things off. And Tusk coming in with a buyback. Wraith King might look for his second death here. Glimmer Cape save, and there we go. Reincarnation will be popped.
Okay, so they managed to kill Void, which is incredible considering Chrono was also used. However, oh, Dark Willow, will she get swapped?
Round number 2. Yeah, there goes your Kunkka. Pretty free kill.
Mega kill.
Yeah, that was not supposed to happen. Dark Willow is in.
Yeah, this is just going to be disastrous right after. I mean, the Muerta probably shouldn't live for too long. Dazzle just gets jumped on a beautiful Terrorize coming out from TK. TK, who's been playing absolutely out of his mind this game, on point with every single spell usage, and doing a lot of work at the back line as well, as they will clean out the rest of these, well, I guess you could say on the Radiant side of the Roach Pit as we are, invaders have been repelled.
That's so sad. I was just going to praise them for taking a decent fight, killing the Void after Chrono was used. Like, they played so well around him as well. Like, they blocked the ramp with the shards, so when Void went on Muerta on the other side of the Chrono that just got swapped, he couldn't connect to Dazzle, so Dazzle couldn't grave him, couldn't save him. No one could save him.
Yeah.
But then in the end, it's just like it's sheer muscle power, you know. In the end, that's what decided this fight. It wasn't like the brains or the execution. It's just you're 30k ahead, just run at them and kill them, you know. That's the way it felt to me, at least.
There was one really crucial moment there, like, yeah, the first part went really well, but the second part of the fight, if they got that Dazzle, who was basically at like 200 HP, that could have made the day and night difference, basically, if Ignite would be able to then win the fight and get dominance, or at least control of that Roach Pit area, maybe even get Aegis for themselves, because without Dazzle and then Void being dead, they would have had the power play, but they were unable to kill him, and TK just... That was a beautiful 3-man terrorize as well. So they're like, well, they're not doing anything anymore. Time to hit freebies. But it just comes to say again, like, no matter how broken hero this Dazzle is, I've loved TK's Willow today.
Yeah, what's the score at the moment? 9-1-17. Ah, not as good as X-Nova's Phoenix. He died once.
True. Yeah, X-Nova's stats were definitely silver padded. But this Willow performance has been quite the something. And he's got an... Okay, he had an E-Blade. Now he's lining up an Aeon Disc. He's already got Hex, Blink, Yules on this Willow, and still no Ags. Still no Ags, Lizard.
My heart is broken. My heart is just broken.
Oh, he's just teasing you now. I mean, he's been showing that Ags in his quick buy a couple of times, but he's just not doing it, Lizard.
I mean, they do have enough damage. This Dawnbreaker is smashing face. Same goes for Faceless Void. Dazzle is helping out as well. I get it, but at the same time, I just wanted to see some Dark Willow.
I can feel the disappointment in your voice.
Yeah. I just want to see some Dark Willow damage from distance.
It's definitely a lot of fun when you get to that point as a Dark Willow, when you have Aghanims. It's such a fun Ags. Like, out of, like, all of the Aghanims that you have in this game, I think Dark Willow Ags is always the thing where you're like rubbing your hands together and smiling, and like, yeah, I finally got it.
And you know what? It's like this dirty thing Ice Frog does. It's very dirty. Like, he does it. He teases us support players, you know? He's such a tease, man. He gives you some useless heroes such as Ancient Apparition, right? Like, you're basically one spell. But then he gives you Aghanims to right-click for 300 damage, you know? And then you're like, oh my god, I got some gold. Do I buy some actual damage items or attack speed, you know? Or Crystal Maiden, you know? Like, he gives you this slowest hero in the game, like, only spells, and then he's like, but what if I gave you 250 attack speed as well? What will my support pubbers do? Will they actually build a Glimmer Cape, or will they buy a Maelstrom? You know? He's single-handedly creating griefers, and then he's making us report them. Like, he's the real enemy.
I love the way that you're saying that a build like that sounds like it's griefing. While we're fighting in mid, they can't hit the Morta, but they can kill everybody else. Monlo slowly but surely dying here, and so does Ulu. I mean, you're saying it's griefing, but in my eyes, I at least want to keep some of my optimism still alive. I feel like you finally get options to build your hero in a different way. But go along. This is a convincing Game 1 victory from them coming out in this final best-of-3 series of the day. The series is not over, but they've got themselves a head start.
It's a pretty good head start. I think not only